My mom, Maybelle, was born November 18, 1927, in the Lewiston Orchards outside of Lewiston, Idaho. Her parents, Walter and Essie, were first-generation Idahoans. Things were tough during those days. She always told the story of when she was little, she slept in a shoebox by the stove. She asked her sister once, "What happened when I outgrew the box?" Bonnie replied, "We got a bigger box." Her lifelong values of hard work and being frugal were taught at an early age. The family moved to Moscow, Idaho, so that the older boys could go to the U of I. It's interesting to note that all four of the kids went to college. Grandma taught her the first 2 years of school, which put her ahead of kids her age. The family boarded up to 5 boys going to school to get extra money. Mom graduated from the U of I at 20 with a degree in physical education. She taught 1 year at Clarkson, Washington as a PE teacher. She said that was tough since many of the students were about her age. Mom moved to Boise and took a job at the Idaho Power Company. One of her friends dated Bob's brother Bill a few times. Bill introduced her to Bob. Bob was working for Morrison Knudsen in Boise, and he was transferred to Kemmer, Wyoming to work at a coal mine. I don't think he was too excited to be going to a coal mine in the middle of nowhere. He convinced Maybelle to follow him there, and they were married at the Presbyterian Church in Evanston, Wyoming. They spent a couple of years at that job before Bob was transferred to Weiser, Idaho. That job lasted a couple of years as the company raised the railroad lines to be above the flood area of the Hells Canyon dams. The couple moved back to Boise in 1958. In early 1959, they got the call that I was available for adoption and jumped at the opportunity. In 1961, Tammy was adopted and came into our lives. Dad continued to work for MK and became a purchasing agent. Mom kept busy taking care of us, volunteering at church and school. I had a great childhood living in rural Boise. We had a great bunch of neighbor kids and often ran with our dogs to play at the river. We had some great car trips in the summer. I remember one going to San Francisco, seeing Willie Mays play and going to the zoo as we took the train around the zoo, and when we came to the elephant display, the conductor announced that Maybelle, the larger of the 2 elephants, will bow for photos. Dad, Tammy, and I cracked up hearing the name. Mom often said she wondered why she didn't go by her middle name, Elaine. She really didn't like the name Maybelle. My sister Tammy started having more health issues as she got older. Mom spent much of her time taking care of Tammy and helping her. After high school, I followed the family tradition of going to the U of I. In 1980, Mom had her first round of cancer, followed by another in 2001. She survived 2 forms of cancer the doctors thought would be the end of her. I moved to Seattle working for my dad's company in 1986, then moved to Vancouver in 2000, working for Freightliner. Tammy passed away in 2002 after an accident. It was heartbreaking for Mom to lose Tammy. I surprised my parents when I got married in Thailand in 2002. Da and Nook arrived in Vancouver in 2003. Mom and Dad fell in love with Nook, who was 10 at the time. We visited Boise regularly, and they came to Vancouver often. Dad had a long-term run with cancer himself. In 2007, cancer took him, and Mom lost the love of her life. She stayed in Boise in the family home alone for a few years. In October 2010, TJ was born. Mom became a great grandma. It was love at first sight. She and TJ had a special bond. She started visiting Vancouver almost monthly. On a trip for Orr's wedding, we were driving by Glenwood, and I mentioned it looked like a nice place. She agreed, so I pulled in to see my friend Dee Memring. She had lunch with Dee and looked around. In just over a month, she decided it was time to move to Vancouver and into Glenwood Place. It was great timing. It was like she was a new person. She had many activities to do, and she became very active in her new home. Mom loved her apartment in the terrace and had it so comfortable. She was able to spend more time with me, my family, and of course TJ. She and TJ would spend Saturday afternoon playing games or going to activities. He was a regular at beanbag baseball and bingo. 2021 was a rough year for Mom. August, she was told she needed a heart valve replacement. After the surgery and a recovery and respite care, she returned to her apartment only to fall. The doctors figured her heart missed a beat and installed a pacemaker. That began her days in assisted living. Even in her weakened condition, she loved spending time with her friends. She loved getting to know her caregivers. She often told me stories of the people she came to know. Mom loved to listen and cared for people, and of course giving some advice where she saw fit. My mom had a great life. 95 years is a long time to be here. I give thanks to her friends here. You enriched her life. I give thanks to her caregivers. You helped her live each day to the fullest. I give thanks to Glenwood Place and the staff. You provided a great place to live. She was a great mom, a wonderful grandma and great-grandma. I feel like I am the luckiest guy in the world to have a mom like her. She and Dad provided a good life for me and my sister. Today is a day to remember Maybelle Mays. Today is not a sad day. Today is a day to celebrate her going home to be with God. Thank you all for coming.